Hello and welcome everyone to Scott Studios on the campus of Scott City State University. I'm the commissioner of the SGFFL, also known as the Bush League. I'm Scott Gross, and this is the SGFFL Selection Lottery. Now what this is the bottom 8 teams out of 20 in the SGFFL are no longer in the playoffs. They will lotto their spots off to find out who they will play in their quest for the number 1 pick. There are 8 teams left in the bottom. 1 team will win the rights to the number 1 overall pick. We'll take a look right now. Back in the green room, our junior executive Julius Gross is sitting back there. He's got a bag full of cards numbered 1 through 8. Now we have Julius because he's unbiased. Julius can't read or write, and he has no affiliation with any kind of team. So he's going to dig deep into that big black bag, and he's going to pull out numbers. And those numbers will coordinate with the teams, how they finished. Those teams finished 1 through 8. We'll show you those right now. Team number 1 was the worst team in the league, and we go all the way down to 8. So wherever that number is pulled out, wherever it coincides, that team will play the team that Julius will pull out. What we're going to do right now, before we get to Julius in his bag of tricks, we're going to send it to Gabe Stout with his thoughts on the regular season, and Gabe joins us from Arizona. Gabe?
Thanks, Scott. My thoughts on the season as a whole, it's been a fun season. The most interesting thing that's popped out to me is that the whole lot of traded picks. It's been very interesting. I didn't add them up exactly, but I just kind of estimated, and I'm looking at probably over 50 traded draft picks, which is unprecedented for this league. Granted, we usually have a lot of picks traded, but not quite like that, so that's kind of fun. I think that has a lot to do with the institution of our rule to pay for the next season for trading a top 2 pick, or the first 2 rounds. And granted, a lot of those picks were not traded. There were some. What was it, 5 or 6 teams only traded those picks, but I think it shows that the league as a whole is comfortable with where it's at moving forward, and retaining the members of our league. So that's fun to see. Also, something that's been very exciting is to see the girls win division crowns for the first time in, I believe, the 22-year existence of this league. We've got females taking the division crowns, and so congratulations to them, and that's pretty exciting stuff. I know that they are both very pumped, and you know, they're not done. They want to keep going and get into the money. It'd be fun to see them face each other in the finals or the finals. That'd be really fun to see.
Thank you very much, Gabe. We're back here at Scott Studios, and it's now time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Julius is back in the green room. We're going to send it back over there. We're going to find out what numbers he's going to pull out. The final 8 teams, your fate lies in Julius's little paws. Let's now go to the green room and see who he draws out first in our first inaugural live TV event of the SGFFL Toilet Bowl Lottery. Julius? So there you have it, the first 2 cards, albeit it took a while to get them out of there, but Julius finally pulled out card number 5. That's Doug Dickman and East-West Connection. They'll be matched up and going on the road to the number 1 seed, which is the worst seed in the league, and that's the J-City Jayhawks and owner Jason Gross, who only came up with 5 wins on the season, but still a lot better than last year. Gabe, your thoughts on this opening matchup, East-West Connection without Gronkowski versus the J-City Jayhawks?
J-City versus East-West, you know, it's a rematch of Week 12 where East-West came away. It really comes down to the quarterback play, I believe. You're looking at Freeman versus Flacco. And East-West came away with the victory last week with Freeman scoring 0 points. So that's something to be said there. And he's been double figures fairly consistently over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So, I mean, you got to think that East-West is going to get something from him going forward. So I look for East-West to pull away from J-City in the first week of the Toilet Bowl.
This is an all-access show, and we are now joined on the phone by the head coach of the East-West Connection, Doug Dickman. Doug, thanks for joining us. Your thoughts on your first-round matchup and your season.
Okay. Well, I get an easy one to start with. You get a bad day, they got a good day, and you're beat. Yeah, you never know. You know, a lot's going to depend on, you know, I'll put Sproles. If Sproles can do decent, and boy, I don't know who. I have to see who Seattle's playing. Always, I'd put Golden Tate in, and you know, it depends who the Jacksonville's playing too. If I want to, he's probably not going to. He didn't get much carries. I think he just got a touchdown. That was it. You know, so I don't know if I should leave him in there. Well, Sproles will be. I could put Sproles in and leave him in too, and just take Simpson. I don't want him in there. They talked about it on TV that he's been a total flop. He's awful. Then I'd probably go with Golden Tate. Jordy Nelson. That's pretty. You know, it ain't bad. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, thank you.
Back to the green room we go, and Julius is digging back in the bag again, and this time he is going to pull out team number 8. Team number 8 is going to be, well, it's going to be you, Gabe. So it's going to be Gabe Stott. You are team number 8. Julius pulled you out, and you're matched up versus team number 4. Number 4 is going to be the Lastrip Swamp Dogs, and Lastrip put up a very good week. They were very competitive down the stretch. They have a nice new player in Bryce Brown. Don't know if he'll play coming up this weekend, but Gabe, your thoughts on this matchup. What kind of fears do you have? Bryce Brown for Lastrip. You have just lost Andre Brown.
You know, Lastrip is, they're sneaky. They're very savvy on the waiver wire. We've kind of seen it all year. Granted, their record hasn't reflected that, but they are. Bob is always very savvy with trading and waiver wire pickups, and you know, it just hasn't worked out for him this year. I'm sure his strategy hasn't changed from years past. I mean, he just didn't quite get it done. He's usually at the top of the heap no matter what kind of moves he's making. He saw it again this week. He picked up Bryce Brown and he went off for him. So he does that stuff, and so kudos to him. At the same time, those kind of waiver wire pickups, when you're depending on those guys, they're kind of replacement players, so they come and they go fairly quickly, you know, within 1 or 2 weeks a lot of times. I know early in the season he picked up Andre Brown, who I now have, who's now hurt, but that was another pickup for him that was big for him, so he's been getting by on that, and he'll continue to do that. And for me, obviously, you know, I have not Bryce Brown, but Andre Brown, and he's out with a broken leg. Can I get by without him? I think so. I've got Felix Jones in the background. We'll see what happens with DeMarco Murray. If DeMarco Murray's still out, I'm looking to probably plug Felix Jones back in there. At the same time, I've got a pickup of my own in Mohamed Sanu, who scored twice. He's been scoring for the Bengals. So I got a couple of guys there that I can choose from, and I like my chances in a rematch against Bob. I don't think he can put up the same kind of week he did last week, and I don't think I'm going to put up as bad a week as I did myself in Week 12. I'm looking to improve on that, and I think my guys will do that.
Halfway through the SGFFL Toilet Bowl Lottery, or as I like to call it, the post-secondary playoffs, 4 teams have been pulled out. 2 matchups have been pulled out. Let's find out who the other 4 teams are going to be and the other 2 matchups. Julius, back in the green room, digging hard in that bag. We shortened it up a little bit for him, and he will take out team number 7. Number 7 will be the Bad Boys and Derek Dickman. So Derek Dickman will be added versus the next team Julius pulls out, and that's going to be a nice matchup. Number 6, a 7 versus 6 here in round number 1. That'll be the defending champs, Kyle and Nathan Stump with K&N Friends. Gabe, your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, you got very similar teams in the Bad Boys and K&N. I think that it's just like JC and East West, it's going to come down to their quarterback play. I look for this one to be a pretty close game. I'm going to say, we're in ballpark of about 40 points, 35, 40 points, somewhere in there, and it's going to be pretty tight, I think, and that will come down to the end in order to move forward in the toilet bowl.
That brings us to 2 teams that are left in that bag. We go back to the green room. So Julius working hard, pulling out, and this time he's going to pull out team number 2, and that's going to be the TBG's BVDs. Trevor Grouse is going to be matched up with our final team that's going to be in there, and that's going to be team number 3, William Hanson and the Boston Steamers. So this matchup, the BVDs versus Boston, not what we'd like to see, but that's the way the lottery goes. You got a 2 versus 3, so one of these 2 teams is going to get the short end of the stick after round 1 of the playoffs. Now joined on the phone by Trevor Gross, the owner of the TBG's BVDs. Trevor, your thoughts on your season and your first round opponent?
Definitely knew it wasn't going to be a good year as far as win-loss record, but I was hoping to get some guys in the draft that I could trade later on, get some picks towards the end of the year, which didn't happen. All my backup guys that I had on my roster ended up being the next guy below him, or they got hurt or something like that. So it was kind of disappointing, but we had a couple of diamonds in the rough that helps out. But I don't know, as far as the season goes, it's a little bit more challenging and actually a little bit more fun trying to dig for players. A good team, and it's a little more satisfying when you win a week because you have a horrible team and didn't have a draft pick till round 6 or 7 or whatever, and then so that's kind of fun. So it definitely, is important to draft quarterback, at least the top, 5 or 6 of them first. It's kind of looking at your roster like, oh man, am I gonna win a game? Am I gonna end up laughing stock or whatever? But getting that first win, I felt was the biggest. I've been playing Willie a lot off and on the last couple of years, and in the CFL league too, I play against him. So I've always had pretty good success against him. He doesn't scare me a whole lot. Be able to come back and dagger him. And Charles has had all to get his yards. He doesn't really get touchdowns.
Right.
So hope that trend continues.
Gabe, when you take a look at the pairings in the toilet bowl, is there anybody other than yourself, when you can't pick yourself, is there a team that you see down here that could really go on and win 3 games in a row quite easily?
It's been a fun and interesting season. A lot of things happened, a lot of new things have happened and stuff throughout this season, and I'm really looking forward to the next season. You and I, Scott, have some interesting ideas in improving our league and moving it in an exciting direction. And really looking forward to see if the guys are interested in that kind of change. And we'll get more into that down the road as we go. So some big things on the horizon just to kind of keep more people involved longer. And like I said, we'll cover that more in depth later on. But I've been very happy with this season. It's been fun, and I'm looking, as always, already looking forward to the next one. And but good luck to all the teams in both sides of the playoffs.
Thank you, Gabe, and thank you, everyone, for watching this first program on the air, live in the Scott Studios on the campus of Scott City State University. Glad to bring this presentation to you. A playoff preview, if you will. We've got the Toilet Bowl lottery set, the matchups are set, the playoffs are set, the 4 teams on a bye are set, so let's get ready for some football. Expect to see some upsets up there, and if they do, who knows? The top 4 seeds, many are saying, are the weakest in history, but they're there for a reason. Once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you, hopefully, next week. I'm the commish, Scott Gross.
Traffic's kinda bad.